It is 12:59. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL's first ever Week 18 kicks off tomorrow with a Saturday doubleheader. It starts with Chiefs and Broncos at 3:30 and Cowboys and Eagles at 7:15. We'll join that game in progress here on The Zone after Tennessee basketball. The Titans kick off Sunday at noon in Houston against the Texans. A win would clinch the 1 seed in the AFC. The Lee Company countdown to kickoff starts at 9. Titans countdown is at 11. And kickoff with Mike Keith, Coach Mack, and the rest of the Titans radio crew right here on The Zone. Mike Vrabel set to speak to media here in just a few moments. You can hear it live right here on Blaine and Mickey. The Predators defeated the LA Kings 4-2 on the road last night. Philip Forsberg with a goal and an assist as Nashville remains at the top of the Central Division. They'll round out the road trip tomorrow night at the Coyotes. College hoops, the Belmont Bruins opened OVC play with a 40-point rout of SEMO, 102-62. The Bruins improved to 11-3. They'll travel to UT Martin tomorrow afternoon. Vanderbilt returns to Memorial Gym at 9-4 to host South Carolina tomorrow, an 11 a.m. tip-off. And 18th-ranked Tennessee is on the road Saturday at 21st-ranked LSU. Tip-off is at 5 p.m. Vault Network coverage with voice of the Vols, Bob Kessling, and 3HL's very own Ron Slay right here on The Zone, starting at 4:30. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you. We start the show with me giving you a public service announcement. If my account starts tweeting weird stuff on Twitter, ignore it, because I got hacked just a few minutes ago. We having some mic issues with the Hitman? Did the same person hack his microphone that hacked my Twitter? I mean, I can hear you, but I can't. Just with my headphones off. Okay, you can hear yourself now? I don't think I can. Oh, no, I can hear myself really loud. It's a good beginning. I'm hacked. You're hacked.
I love when athletes talk about they got hacked and you didn't get hacked. Yeah, you didn't get hacked. Just kidding.
Well, your mic's working now. That hack got fixed.
My ear would start to, my eardrum was really buzzing after I laughed in my ear. A little too loud there. But, yeah, old Mixters, right before we were in the green room there about 15 minutes ago, Mickey's account went crazy. So if anybody has any quick remedies on how to make sure that you protect yourself on Twitter and getting your Twitter handle hacked, please call Lucas.
Yeah, let me know.
Call Lucas, because I don't know if you could even DM and you get the message there.
Yeah, I can't. So you cannot reach me that way. Now, you can reach the show on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, 615-737-1045. By the way, Mike Vrabel will soon be speaking. We usually cut to a little bit of that to at least hear if he's ruled anybody out for the week, that kind of thing. Maybe there'd be some kind of update on Derrick Henry. We don't know. There are players speaking now, but it would be Mike Vrabel soon enough. But, yes, you can reach us, Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, 615-737-1045. You can reach us, Zone TV chat. A lot of people already checking in there as well. And, I don't know, you could drive by the station and honk if you wanted to. We could probably hear that.
Yeah.
Be another way to do it.
But I'm glad everybody's safe and everything else. If you are having trouble with your car or straight on the side of the road, you can also call Lucas for that. So we can get some help out there. If you lost, your phone, and dropped it in the snow, or it's frozen, or you're not getting good internet connection. So I saw this one deal on the TV. Since we're talking about this, Mickey, we don't have to go into depth now, but they got stranded on the road. I don't know if you saw this, Lucas, in Virginia, probably about 4 days ago on the freeway. And it got locked up for 14 to 24 hours. I don't know. It was some people were on there 14 hours, some 24 hours.
Yeah, I-95. Yeah.
Yes. And so what would you do if you are stuck in your car for 14 to 20 hours. I mean, man, just think you need to eat. Man, just imagine if you don't have internet connection and your phone is working shoddy, but not really.
Somebody hacks your Twitter.
Yeah, right. That happens. And so you don't have any water. You don't have food. What would you do? There's some options. I would say, okay, I'll pull off the side of the road. Some people left their cars and just left them and abandoned them.
Yeah.
They just left them. They like, forget this. I can't sit here. Some people exited and then they got stuck on the, side road. Some people went up to other, people drive, cars and trucks, and they maybe got food and water. Would you share your food and water not knowing that you would be there for that long? Or if you thought so, you're like, hey, man, I need to keep everybody got some snacks in your car here or there, but maybe you didn't even have any snacks in your car to survive that long without food. Because I know Mickey's an eater, and that would be a huge issue with Mickey and him and not having food for, let's say, 20 hours. So I don't know. I probably would have been patient enough to sit there 20 hours. There's no way. I would have got out and walked. Now, there's different circumstances if you got a kid with you,
right,
and they can't walk as far as you, or do you think about, I could put them on my shoulders or carry them, depending on who's with you or not, because I probably would have pulled off the side of the road and probably said, hey, where's the closest place I can get somewhere and be safe, and I'll come back and get my vehicle. But that's probably what I would have done. I don't know how close, some hotels or what maybe in our family or friends would have been close, but man, that's a heck of a deal. Get stuck on the side, and you're locked up, gridlock traffic there for 20 hours. I remember this happened in I want to say Georgia, maybe, I don't even know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, right there at 285 and 75 going in. So man, I don't know, man. I would have got out. Mixer, I know you would have been looking for a Whataburger.
100%. I can't go that long without eating. Here's the other thing. Let's say you're sitting there 12 hours.
Dang.
Where are you going to go to the bathroom?
Oh.
You're just going to get out and run in the woods and then run back?
Oh. You know what? I always see people on the freeway and they always have their door open on the passenger side when you drive by sometimes. Oh, yeah. And I think they're going to the bathroom.
Oh, no, they're
sometimes
peeing.
They're not, but yeah, they're going to the bathroom.
They're
or if you got an empty can or what have you, maybe you use that, bottled water. I don't know. Just you got to you start being resourceful. I mean, you got to find a way. So, yeah, but that is a huge deal. Man, just imagine if you're with a younger kid, though. I mean, maybe 5 and under or something, that's a tough deal. Nobody can prepare for that. That's why I always keep some food somewhere, somewhere going around in a glove box or something. Armrest. Got to have some nibbles.
They say, like this time of year, you're just supposed to have a blanket in your car and have some food that won't freeze or melt or whatever.
Oh, I do.
And I mean, I'm just got in the car and drove up here yesterday, and I didn't think about that. There were people who got stranded on the road. I'm like you. I think after a certain amount of time, I'm just going to take off and start walking. Now, if I'm 8 hours from home, I don't know what I'm going to do. But like if it's Nashville, if I'm between here and my house, I'm just going to start trying to walk home at that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would just sit there. Now, we had this, what was it, 2003? There were a bunch of people who just abandoned their cars. Do you remember that?
No. Oh, yeah, it was bad snow. I was definitely locked in.
At like 7 o'clock in the morning, it had snowed one flake. So everybody left the house and went to work. But by like 7:55, it had snowed 3 inches. And so people got stuck at work or stuck on the road. And so people have lived this here. I wonder what they did.
That's right. I forgot all about that. Yeah. I think, man, because it was still going on even in the afternoon. I think that's when we were on in the evenings. Because I think it was going like to Murfreesboro, right, where people were getting stuck.
Now, I wasn't here yet. I didn't work at the radio station. That was 2003. So I was.
That was right when I retired. So.
Yeah.
But
were you back here yet, or were you in Atlanta at that point?
No, I was still here.
Okay, you were here. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I believe it was 03 when it just hit the fan. Here's Tom in the Borough, Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Tom, what would you do in that situation? 14, 16, 20 hours on the interstate. How are you going to live through that?
Well, I mean, the thing you have to do is just sit tight and hope you have a cup nearby. I was telling your screener that when I was stationed in Germany, it was nothing to be driving down the Autobahn and see people just out using the bathroom, men and women. I mean,
wow.
You see a woman there squatting by the Autobahn,
okay,
going to town, and they had it down pretty well. So they kept a blanket and some grunts in their cars, and they were ready to go.
Wow. Yeah, so, hey, Yeah, everybody got to be prepared. Have some snacks and some blankets. I wouldn't say I have blankets, but I definitely have a lot of change of clothes and jackets. So I think that qualifies as a blanket for me. But and I always keep a bottle of water in there, whether it's cold or not. But it's just sits in there, and I always sip it on it when I'm driving. So yeah, but snacks, that's a tough one
I've
there.
had my truck 10 years. Normally in the past, I've kept one of everything in there. Like I got a jacket in there, I got a hat in there,
Uh-huh.
but I was completely unprepared to get in the car and drive up here for this latest round. No snacks, and I could have used those snacks. And I left early, and I stayed here yesterday. I've been here for a minute now. The snacks thing, I've really botched it on. So
what's
here's the thing.
What's your favorite snack though? Before you go,
Oh, I mean, anything.
anything.
I mean, you know me. I'll eat any kind of snack. Anything that's terrible for you, I like.
And they got sweet chili Doritos now in the vending machines here. Made my day yesterday.
Ooh.
I've never had those.
The best ones.
What?
I like
You're
all
a
the-
snacker. You never had the chili,
But you know I've got the stomach of a 23-year-old cat. I mean,
but you said you love everything.
well, I haven't had those yet. Anything like with a pepper on the bag, I know better than to eat that. That's like
Oh.
a time bomb.
Oh, I definitely loved it. Yeah, anything that's hot and spicy, I'll definitely try. I like that.
All right. Mike Vrabel still has not approached the podium, but should be up soon. Let's do this. Enough survival talk. We'll take a break. We will come back. Hopefully, Mike Vrabel will be at the podium, and you will hear from the Titans head coach. That's coming up next. Blaine and Mickey Friday edition 104.5 The Zone. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Mike Vrabel live at the podium with his Friday presser. Here is the coach live from St. Thomas Sports Park.
Line has been doing a nice job. The backs have been, running hard, and then that's something that I think has been a conscious decision. We'll have to see where the game goes, on Sunday. But just watching film is, they've got tight ends in there. They've got sometimes XL linemen. Obviously they're able to move the ball downfield with Cooks and Collins and Moore. Some of those guys down the field. But it has been, trying to run the football, hit some play action, take some shots when they're there.
Teron.
Yeah, what's up, Coach? With Julio Jones, trying to get him more involved in the offense, are there things that you guys could do, or is it really just a matter of the defenses focusing on him? Because that's something that he brings up repetitively when asked about his impact, what he could do statistically.
I think availability is really important for all players.
Anything else or is it just
What's
really
your follow-up question, Teron?
Well, really what I'm trying to follow up on and find out is just, what are you guys doing to get Julio Jones more involved with the offense?
We're going to run our offense, whether Julio's out there, whether AJ's out there, whether Nick's out there, whether Chester's out there, Dez. We're going to run the offense. We're going to call plays that we think give us the best chance to win the football game. That's what we're going to do.
Got it.
Jim Wyatt.
Mike, a lot of times when a team is 4-12, their takeaway giveaway number is not very good. The Texans actually a +3. What have they done well there? And I know they even had success against this team back in November.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I think that's just a testament, Jim, to how they want to play. And I think that they realize, I think that Nick and David realize that that's such an important stat, and that if you can win the turnover battle and not beat yourselves, that's a right step in winning football games in this league. And because the talent is so similar, and they're just such a small margin of error. And so we didn't do a very good job, and they did a great job of taking away from us. We didn't create enough turnovers. We didn't create any. And you just see the difference that it makes in when we play. So they're trying to do that, and that's a testament to them. They've got some great guys on defense that are looking for those opportunities to turn the football over. And that's something that Lovie Smith's defense has always been known for. When they do play zone, being able to break on the football. If you catch it on them, you better protect it. Guys are hammering at the football. So those are things that they're teaching and coaching.
John Glennon.
Mike, obviously a pretty big step for you guys this year in terms of run D. Just wanted to maybe get your thoughts on one or two things that have most contributed to that, whether it's scheme, personnel, anything else that comes to mind for you.
What are you comparing that to?
To last year.
Yeah, I think it's just a mentality, and sometimes it's, these games go differently. Sometimes you get into games where teams can't run it. Sometimes opponents. We had some astronomical gains last year. I don't want to reference last year, but we had some games where we gave up a lot of rushing yards, unfortunately. And I don't want to get caught up in too much of the numbers, because I think that doesn't always tell the story. I think it's stopping a run is about a mentality, being great tacklers, everybody doing their job. So. I'm proud of how we have stopped the run, but I thought there were too many loose runs, last week against the Dolphins. They just had to stop running it. So there's a lot of things that go into just looking at the numbers that some people love to do.
Last couple. Paul.
Mike, wondering about Kyle on the defensive line and progress you've seen from him. How influential has he been in the run game? And is he kind of the quintessential dirty work anonymous type that every team needs?
He, Pecco has got he's got some versatility. He's played different positions along the front, so he's been able to pick that up. I have always, since we got him, I thought he played with really good technique. Not the biggest player, but I like the technique in which he plays with and his ability to hustle and play hard and kind of, like you mentioned, kind of grind away in there, which is critical. And so and what else has he done is he's taken advantage of his opportunities, being in there and, continuing to play well and do the things that we're asking him to do. And we hope that continues.
Chris Harris.
Hey, Mike, now that we have a sample size of a few games, what would you say or how would you assess the impact that Zach Cunningham has had on the defense the time he's been here?
Well, Zach's just, trying to be a great teammate, trying to learn these guys. And I think it's a little unique situation, joining the team in the manner in which he did. But I think he's trying to play physical and trying to do the things that we ask him to do and tackle and chase the football and just try to continue to develop within our system.
Last two questions. Ben Arthur.
Hey, Mike, did Derrick show you enough in practice this week for you to feel comfortable activating him if needed?
Yeah, I mean, we have some time to make that decision. We'll evaluate where we're at. But I think that he looked good. We continue to track his speed and mileage and volume and see how he responds. So. 2 days on the turf, we'll see where he's at tomorrow and see how he responds. But, I feel good about where he's at.
Last one, John Glennon.
Mike, your favorite question for last, ruling anybody out at this point?
Tart and Naquan Jones. Tier Tart and Naquan Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
There you go, Mike Vrabel. Interesting question. Derrick Henry right at the end about what they've seen from him. And
that was Ben Arthur, right?
Ben Arthur asking that question. And Mike Vrabel did point this out. A couple of days on the turf, as you pointed out yesterday. They're not outside. It's snowing. They're in the bubble. The bubble has turf. Guess who else has turf? Houston.
I think it's the same kind of turf, too.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's turf.
It's turf. Not the turf you played on the Astrodome, which was concrete with some green carpet over it.
No, that was
knee scope turf.
Yeah, that was putt surf.
Just imagine playing a football game on the putt surface. Yeah.
That's actually the other time, besides with the Titans, and that was my rookie year, that I lost in the second round of playoffs with the number 1 seed and a bye. That was the year we won 11 in a row. We started off 1-4, won 11 in a row. We lost in the second round to the Chiefs, who we destroyed early in the year. I mean, yeah.
You thought you'd killed Joe Montana, right?
Yeah, not only me, but our whole defense, yeah. I was shocked that he came back out the second half. Yeah, his elbow was so swollen, I thought there's no way he's going to be able to throw the football. Naturally, I didn't know anything about, in my rookie year, about Toradol, painkillers, or any of that.
Right.
No idea. So he must have did something because he came out like with a super bad case. So there's the 2 times that I lost after having the number 1 seed and a bye. So as I say, I am scarred forever about having the bye. And I thought it was a great thing, and I'm sure everybody else did too, with being number 1 seed and get some rest. And yeah, didn't work out that way. Yeah. By the way, 2 teams that maybe the 2 best teams I was on. And that's over the Super Bowl team.
Oh, my gosh.
And that shows you how things have to bounce your way. That wasn't the best. The Super Bowl team wasn't the best team on. The Super Bowl team the next year was the best team.
2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a better team than that.
Buck Reising joins us now on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, courtesy of our friends at Two Rivers Ford, home of the non-commissioned salespeople. Buck, how old were you in the year 2000? Do you remember that Titans team?
How old was he?
It would have been.
Let's just say, where were you? Let's say that.
I was in Egypt.
Cool.
I would have been in kindergarten in 2000.
No.
Yeah, he knew all about that
Yeah.
Titans dynasty in Egypt. Were the Titans
That's
big
true,
in
yeah.
Egypt
No,
at
that's-
that point?
Kindergarten? That is not
say,
true.
I cannot say that I was much attuned to Titans football in kindergarten. No, I can't. Internationally, that didn't quite jump the pond, respectively.
So basically, you're saying kindergarten. So now that means you're like 26 or something?
I'm 28.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. He'd be old in kindergarten, man. What are they doing up there? Was
All right,
kindergarten
maybe
the 3 best years of your
maybe
life or
first
something?
grade.
Maybe first
What's
grade.
the big difference?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Wait. Since we go down the road of something funny, then you was in Egypt, you weren't paying attention to the Titans. I know you travel all the time covering the Titans. You do a fantabulous job. But which stadium is the worst stadium? You go, this crap is horrible. They need a new stadium. Or, maybe it wasn't that bad, but a lot of
It's
new
the
stadiums.
Jags hands down. It's the Jags hands down because that press box leaks when it rains, and they almost ruined my laptop before. But I've never been to RFK, or what is it called, FedEx Field now,
Yes.
where they leak raw sewage on the fans who attend and potentially take out starting quarterbacks
Really?
for the Eagles.
Oh, my. Well, who has the best stadium food for the media?
The best stadium food? Oh,
Yeah.
it's Dallas.
Oh,
The best
Dallas.
stadium food is Dallas by a mile.
Oh, okay. And I knew those were important, deals for you. And by the way, was that you? I tweeted out someone hitting you years ago. Is that actually you warming up?
Oh,
on
that's not actually me, Blaine. Don't get fooled by the internet.
It looked like you in the face. I said, that is you.
No, it looks just like me, except I'm not, 6'5" and built like a Russian circus.
Yeah, I knew you were in better shape than that, but I didn't know it was saying
Better
somebody trying to
shape
get
than
you in
that.
shape. I
Well,
was just
listen,
making
be
sure it
careful
wasn't
before
you.
you say better shape than that, because I don't know how much better shape I am.
Well, COVID has affected us all. Okay.
Okay. So is Uber Eats, Blaine. So is
We
Uber
all
Eats.
been inside there, Buck. It's okay. It's okay. We're all with Buck Reising with the
Stay
Buck
with
Reising
me, Mickey.
show.
It wasn't that funny. Relax.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it was. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
just
man.
how he slipped that in COVID has affected us all.
No. Another thing that's funny. What would happen, Buck, if your Twitter account, like Mickey's, just got hacked 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, I'm hacked.
Yeah, my deepest regrets. Dara's Twitter has actually been hacked. My lovely girlfriend Dara, who was hacked. So if you see free sunglasses promotions, let us know and we'll be sure to flag it. But listen, if my Twitter got hacked, my life would be over. I've fought so hard for that damn blue check mark play. For somebody to hack it and take it from me, there's no point in living after that. Like, I don't know what I did.
Well, that's where I am right now. Derrick Henry, I don't know if his
And
Twitter's
he has
been
the blue
hacked.
jack, too.
Yeah, but he's practicing this week. Is there any? I know you've had Diana Rossini, who seems to be plugged into this organization pretty well. I know you've had her on, and her line all along has been, he's going to practice, but doesn't really see a scenario or not hearing that there would be a reason or that he would play in this game. Your thoughts on his potential availability and or playing on Sunday? Any scenario for that?
Any scenario, yes. I think it's far more likely that he does not play. Now, it's great news that he got, it sounds like, 3 full days of work in. We haven't obviously been able to see him because they've had the last 2 days of practice in the bubble. But based on what Mike Vrabel says, it seems like they're pretty comfortable with where he's at, and that's been the line the whole time. He's on track. Everything has gone according to the plan. And I do think that they have targeted this game in particular, or had targeted this game in particular, to try and bring him back. But I think at this point, if you feel that the cons still even slightly outweigh the pros, it's kind of silly to say that it's not necessary to have Derrick Henry for this game, but it's really not all that necessary if you're going to look at their rushing output with Derrick versus without Derrick. Scoring does matter, and Derrick is much harder to keep out of the end zone because he's a skyscraper at the position. But I don't necessarily think that they would want to push it if there was any kind of, maybe it's the foot's a little sore, Blaine. I know you've talked about this when you have a screw and a plate put in any part of your body. Mm-hmm. There's some kind of discomfort associated with that, especially when you're 250 pounds playing the running back position, and so much of what you do is based on your ability to plant, go, and accelerate.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. He looked good from the videos. I don't know what you
He
thought
did.
about it, man. I thought he looked really smooth, and man, I was impressed. That didn't mean he was going to play, but I said, oh, I think they can build on this. He may be up to speed like nothing has happened in maybe a week or two.
Yeah. No, he he had been out of the boot for a while. And based on, a couple of different people, I think Diana was out there as well with saying that he had been doing some conditioning work. So it's not like the first time that we saw him physically at practice in a helmet again was the first time that he'd been running. I think that they have slowly, again, a part of the return to play process for him was that integral ramp up process for him. So I think that's as much something to consider, the fact that he wasn't just, for people who saw that video like we did, we obviously understand that he wasn't just dropped into the practice like that. But that's just another indicator that he is very much well on his way to a full recovery.
Buck Reising, our guest. Blaine had this question. I thought it was a great one. Who is the Titans' best in-season acquisition? And he included Randy Bullock there just because he didn't start out as the kicker.
Oh.
And we listed him. We listed Buster
Foreman.
Foreman, and Zach Cunningham. Those are the four that we put on there. And there were a couple other guys you could have added to that list as well.
It's Randy. I mean, it's there's no question it's Randy to me. That's we don't talk about the kicking anymore. That's been such a plague.
Yeah.
For the last two seasons, and so much, just the tide has so much turned that there are chants for the kicker at Nissan Stadium. I don't root. I root for individuals. Obviously, I don't necessarily root for teams that we cover, but I will say that I actively delight every time there's a Randy chant in the stadium, because it makes me so happy to see that, husky, for lack of a better term, little guy trot out there, nail it through the uprights, and just be consistent all year long. There have been some misses, but based on the fact, consider the fact that they went to the AFC Championship game 2 seasons ago, making 44% of their field goals, and Randy has done nothing but correct that. There's so much that bad kicking could have left on the table, and I think the biggest difference between them in 19 and in 21, outside of the clearly and obviously, probably best four-man pass rush in football right now, Randy Bullock has made a massive difference for this team.
Sure has. Buck Reising making a massive difference for our Friday shows every week, courtesy of Two Rivers Ford. He's on with us now.
Well, Buck's big pickup is Randy throughout the season, which is hard to, say that that isn't the most important. Foreman, too, has to be in the conversation as well as all the other guys. But I have to ask you, Buck, who is the offensive and defensive MVPs for the season?
The offensive and defensive MVP for the season, I'd give defensive MVP honestly to Danico Autry. I think that's he's so good at what he does and what he creates for everybody else. Offensively, it's a good question, right? Because they've been so many different parts on the offense. By default, you almost have to give it to Tannehill because he's been there every week. He has been up and down at times, but there are reasons for that, we understand. And still, he's won back-to-back division titles quarterbacking this particular team, and he's kept things on the rails as much as anybody could be expected to. I don't know who else would fit that category. I don't think there's enough of a sample size for AJ, even though he does clearly make a difference. I think Foreman, right there with, if Randy Bullock is 1A for best in-season acquisition, Deontay Foreman is right there as 1B. But Ryan Tannehill has been in the lineup week in, week out, when the biggest question surrounding Ryan Tannehill coming into Tennessee was his availability. And all he has done is be available and play the position as well as humanly possible, given the circumstances around him. It's got to be Tannehill.
Yeah, I love both those picks, but naturally, I'm going to go with an old lineman on the offense, Ben Jones.
Yeah, Ben's a good one.
Yeah,
Ben's really good.
But it's hard
Ben's
to
a
deny.
stud.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He doesn't miss time either, by the way. He doesn't miss time either.
He doesn't miss.
He definitely shows like he's hurting every once in a while, Ben. I don't know. God knows what he feels like on a regular basis, but I guess that's how he keeps his body numb. He just goes shoeless before every practice, and I'm sure he's been shoeless out in the snow at some point. Try and numb whatever's aching him at any given point.
Yeah, that's like you going shirtless there right before pregame there on Titans Radio.
Well, listen, Blaine, if I could do it with less clothes, I would do it. But Kirby Allen Kirby is there to make sure that we're a family program.
All right, let's stay on the offensive line. Is there any concern? I saw Quisenberry didn't practice, but not for an injury related. I guess that's what they're saying. But what is it related to? He missed practice. Do we not get that information? I mean, how does that work? I mean, or should we be concerned?
I don't think he was asked. I did dig a little around. I just think he wasn't physically able to get to practice.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
In the weather, so nothing too deep there. I don't think I wouldn't be bent out of shape.
Right, and then they had Jenkins limited practice and then no practice. So
Jackrabbit's much more of a uncertain proposition. The ankle injury is something that he's been battling for a while now. And honestly, it's unfortunate because he's been much more of an active contributor to the defense, probably in the last, let's say, 3 weeks than we've consistently seen him all year long. And I talked to Coach Mack about that today. Jackrabbit is one to monitor, but I wouldn't worry about Questenberry.
Well, lastly for me, Zach Cunningham getting to play his old team, who drafted him, by the way. He could say he's not emotionally invested in this. It's impossible. Wait till that starting lineup gets to going and he gets out there. What do you think?
Well, no, you're spot on. It's very easy to be like, yeah, I don't really care in a Zoom call with us because what does he care about a Zoom call with us? Where there's no moment where that is emotionally trying to when John Glennon is asking you a question about playing your, not respectfully to Johnny, when John Glennon is asking you about playing your former team. But yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't get extra emotional, Blaine, like him, whatever that is on the football field is good enough because that dude is slinging guys around on a regular basis. That rodeo tackle that he had in the Niners game where he rips Ayuk's helmet off just because of the sheer force that he sent him to the ground with. He is active. He is regularly around the football. He is an upgrade on Rashaan Evans from a skill set and recognition standpoint. And even if he does have some deficiencies as a 3-down, at times coverage linebacker, the beauty of what they've got right now is they can roll him four deep at the inside linebacker position and not really see too much of a drop-off based on whatever personnel the offense trots out there. It's a really, really good spot for them to be in. And Zach Cunningham's been a stud. I mean, you saw the snap counts, I'm sure. David Long and Zach Cunningham played the most snaps at the inside linebacker position. Rashaan Evans, I think, had about 22. So they're clearly playing their best players of the position for the bulk of the defensive snaps. And then when they need to play matchup, they can do that as well.
Ooh, well, with the Buck Reising from the Buck Reising show here, right on 104.5 The Zone.
Yes, sir. Hey, on the way out, Buck, I know we're short on time, but anything new with the Bud Dupree stuff, or do you expect this to linger in any way based on what you know?
I mean, he's going to have to pay a fine at some point, but that's the extent of it. He practiced all week. It's nothing that is going to keep him off the football field. The NFL has let worse. Well, I won't say worse people, but worse offenders play football with much more egregious instances of trying to break up a fight at a Walgreens after a game.
There you go. Buck, hey, go hit your local Walgreens and just keep yourself in line, and we'll see you at the game on Sunday and talk to you next week.
That Walgreens is right by my house. He could have called me for backup. That was his first. Goodbye, boys.
See ya. Buck Reising joins us every Friday in the first hour of the program. When we come back, a possible interviewee for the Jags. And Titans fans know this guy well. A very interesting guy with a very interesting past. We'll share that next. Blaine and Mickey.
You will be happy.
Here's what I learned over these years from my friends at Cedar Recovery. People who receive treatment for addiction, they feel better, they get better, they stay better. Cedar Recovery, they've got 4 locations in Middle Tennessee, including they got a new one in the Shelbyville area. They use medication-assisted treatment to help you feel better, get better, and stay better. This is what they also told me when I first started talking to them. This opioid addiction crisis is real, and it affects Middle Tennesseans, and maybe you or somebody that you know or that you care about. We all know somebody who's been affected by this. You do, even if you don't know it. Trust me, you know somebody who's been affected by opioid addiction. And Cedar Recovery told me 90% of the people who struggle with addiction never even get any help. They're ashamed. They don't want to admit that they've got this problem. Well, guess what? They want that shame to go away, that stigma to go away. If you're dealing with opioid addiction or you know somebody who is, you need to go to Cedar Recovery today, or you need to call them 615-800-5330. No insurance, no money, no problem. They will see you. Begin your journey today to feel better, get better, stay better. Cedar Recovery, addiction treatment that works. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. The Jaguars continue to look for a coach to replace Urban Meyer from the Urban Meyer era. I think that, lasted 13 games,
Available.
I believe. Urban Meyer, he went 2-11. The latest guy, this got a bunch of Titans fans happy. Lucas, I'm curious where you would fall on this. Blaine, too. So the latest request they've made for an interview, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're going to interview, or they've requested an interview with Bill O'Brien for the coaching vacancy after Bama plays in the national championship game, which would be on Monday. What's interesting about Bill O'Brien is this. He was the coach 6 years and then 4 games into his 7th year. In 4 of his 6 full seasons, they won the South. Then as soon as he got control of everything, he immediately killed it and was fired.
Right, so if you just take away his power to influence the roster, maybe just leave him to coaching, have input but not control of your roster, then I think he could be okay. And plus, I think that'd be a good thing. Well, he did win. What was his record versus Vrabel, though? Did he ever go against Vrabel?
I can get that in a second. I know this. He was 52-48. That's all he was over 500 with the Texans, despite that they won 4 of 6 AFC Souths. He was 2-4 in the playoffs. I don't think they never made it to the AFC Championship. They couldn't get out of the divisional rounds.
Yeah. Maybe he learned a few things, but that's not enough. So I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. What about you, Lucas?
Well, I don't know that any head coach is going to succeed under Trent Baalke at GM over there.
Do you think he has like compromising photos of Shad Khan or something?
What
explains that?
I don't know.
And I don't want to be graphic in my description of those photos, but just pick a type of.
I mean, he's notoriously had poor relationships, even at the spots where he's been successful. I believe he was the GM for Harbaugh, for Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I said this before. I had this conversation with my kids. Like, if you're always involved and there's always a problem, then you're probably the problem. And Shad Khan is free with the checkbook. He's all those things. But I'll say this again. His judgment appears to be the problem. He has bad judgment. Think about how much the Titans changed when Tommy Smith was no longer making decisions and Amy Adams. Think about this. I mean, the MVP of the Titans franchise for the last 5 years is Amy Adams Strong, where this sweet lady with a checkbook showed up with good judgment. Because bad judgment will sink you. Because remember, we had Joe Coward or Leon or one of those guys on from 1010XL, the Jag station, and we asked about Shad Khan, and they're like, oh, no, remember he committed $1 billion they committed like $1 billion in contracts a few years ago.
Yeah.
If you added them all up. So it's not that he won't spend money. It's not that he doesn't try, but he's always involved, and it's always the wrong decision. So what? I mean, do you hire another guy like who's your common sense coach for him? The decision coach? Like, hey, man, I was thinking about keeping Trent Baalke, and that guy's like, are you crazy?
Well, if I was in his shoes and actually a billionaire, that would be perfect. Right up my alley there, being a billionaire. Sure. I would probably have an advisory board for me, especially because this is not my cup of tea. I'm the guy with the money.
Right.
So I want people that's on the board who are very familiar with the National Football League. And that doesn't mean they have to be in Jacksonville or something. Like, so I would probably go ask Jimmy Johnson. That'd be a guy I'd probably put on my board, or whoever else it may be in the same ilk. Maybe I would put
Tony Dungy.
Yeah, Tony Dungy, or just kind of go down the list. There's a lot of guys he can get advice by. I don't think he is getting advice from football guys who've been in the industry, had a lot of success, and now are retired, or just a voice, just to hear some different opinions and let them kind of sit out. Not to say that they will tell you what to do, because ultimately you're the billionaire and you make the decision. But maybe they will make you think about some things that you're not thinking about, because it's not that he doesn't want to win, as you just mentioned. He's spending money. So all of it. Now it's about making that right hire, because you got to keep first and foremost your quarterback, who's a young quarterback. So how do you go about that process? And then, make sure that the, head coach and the GM are on the same page. So right now, maybe Baalke's hire, and it could still be a bad hire just because it's Baalke. I mean, so as a GM, so do you then move on from Baalke too and just say, clean slate, we're going to start it off this way to make sure that my GM and my head coach are on the same page? Because Baalke, to me, would have a lot of influence if you stick with him as your GM. Yeah. Because he's got to be on board with it. If not, then you're going to have fractured communication right off the bat. See, that's kind of how I would put like, Jim Johnson, Dungy, people like that on my advisory board.
Well, we'll see. Bill O'Brien, latest guy to
and a lot of people aren't liking him at Bama for whatever reason. Him calling the offensive plays there. People don't realize the offensive coordinator is still Nick Saban. He may not be calling the play-to-play, but he is definitely saying, we're going into this game, we're going to run the football versus Cincinnati. They can't stop us with this 3-3 stack. we got three guys stacked in their belly when we take off here. Yeah, I think he kind of guides them and then let them make the calls, and then ultimately he's making the tougher decisions on certain play calls, I'm sure. He's had too much success, and it doesn't matter who is there at offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, revolving door. They're still having success, and everything looks somewhat similar or the same. Mm-hmm. He's coming up with the plan. So,
what did Mike Vrabel say about Derrick Henry today? We will play that for you next, what the head coach said about Derrick Henry. Also, right now we're going to give you away some tickets. It's Free Ticket Friday with 104.5 The Zone and the Nashville Predators. So be caller number 5 now for a chance to win tickets to Tuesday night's Preds game versus the Colorado Avalanche in Smashville. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Nashville Predators regular season tickets on sale to the general public now. You want more information on Preds tickets? Go to NashvillePredators.com/tickets. It's time to paint the town Preds. Get to Bridgestone Arena. Don't miss out on this hockey next week. Get your tickets now.
DraftKings Sportsbook has an unbelievable offer to get all fans in on the action for this exciting time on the football calendar. New customers can bet just $5 on any football team to win their game. And if they do, you win $200 in free bets. So let's wind down this season with a big win. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on football with the same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WGFX, but bet just $5 on any football team, college or pro, and win $200 in free bets if they are victorious. That's code WGFX this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee to bet. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
It is 2:02. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. The final week of the NFL's regular season kicks off tomorrow, a Saturday doubleheader. It's Kansas City taking on Denver at 3:30, and then at 7:15, Cowboys and Eagles in the NFC East. The Titans can win the AFC 1 seed simply by winning in Houston on Sunday. They can also do so with a Kansas City loss to Denver and a Cincinnati loss to Cleveland. Mike Vrabel spoke to media earlier today about Derrick Henry's status and whether or not the running back will play in Houston after returning to practice this week.
See how he responds. So 2 days on the turf, we'll see where he's at tomorrow and see how he responds. But I feel good about where he's at.
The Titans head coach also ruled out defensive lineman Tier Tart and Naquan Jones. The Lee Company countdown to kickoff starts at 9 a.m. with Buck Reising on Sunday. Titans countdown at 11 and kickoff with Mike Keith, Coach Mack, and the rest of the Titans radio crew is at noon right here on The Zone. The Preds defeated the L.A. Kings 4-2 on the road last night. Philip Forsberg staying hot with a goal and an assist. Nashville remains at the top of the Central. They'll round out the road trip tomorrow night at the Coyotes. College hoops, Belmont opened OVC play with a 102-62 win over SEMO. Tomorrow, Vanderbilt returns to Memorial Gym to host South Carolina, an 11 a.m. tip, and 18th-ranked Tennessee on the road at 21st-ranked LSU. Tip-off at 5 tomorrow. Vol Network coverage right here on The Zone with Bob Kessling and 3HL's own Ron Slay. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Melton. Everybody's going to hopefully make it home safe today. Good stuff. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Going to be with you for the next, 50-something minutes here. Then 3HL will finish your drive home today. Again, hopefully everybody's staying safe out there. Maybe getting to play a little snow, play in the snow a little bit. Will Derrick Henry be playing, not in the snow, but against the Texans on Sunday? Mike Vrabel has spoken. He did rule out 2 players. He ruled out Tier Tart and Naquan Jones. So far, the only 2 Titans ruled out. But what did he say about Derrick Henry? The possibility of, anything with Derrick Henry. He was asked by Ben Arthur of the Tennessean. This was his response.
We have some time to make that decision. We'll evaluate where we're at. But, I think that he looked good. We continue to track his speed and mileage and volume and see how he responds. So 2 days on the turf, we'll see where he's at tomorrow and see how he responds. But, I feel good about where he's at.
Feel good where he's at. That could be, no setbacks. I feel good about that. He was out there running around a little bit. I feel good about that. You can feel good about those things.
Yeah, well, and especially if you're Houston, you don't know what that means if you're not, really following closely. That means they could be thinking there's a possibility he could play. Meanwhile, I think most of us think that possibility is almost zero, but you never know. He keeps revving up, and they keep saying, looking pretty good. Never know. I wouldn't be shocked, but I would expect he's not going to play though. But man, he look good. He's on the turf, so we get to, see one more day on there, and then see how his body responds to that. Then that's a really, really good sign if his foot, had no issues. I mean, when I say no issues, I mean like no swelling. You can still have swelling, then you still have no issues, but because it's an injury.
You brought this up, and I never even thought about it, but you talked about maybe guys who are injured who have a certain thing that may be swelling or not swelling, but how getting on a plane and flying could affect that.
Oh, yeah.
You and Dice have both, and I never even thought about that until you guys said it.
I mean, yeah, because we wouldn't have thought about it until it happened to us.
Right. Right. You lived
or
it.
Somebody sit next to you, or
sure.
Like, dang, man, what's going on? Man, I got to put on a knee sleeve. My knee is swelling up on here, man. I was like, what? So then I always just like, if I had, I'm putting on a knee sleeve just in case, if I know my knee is injured. But they pretty much, they're on top of it. The training staff are all the individual players and what they need. But man, it's just like, whoa, yeah, that's swelling from the flight. Oh, sometimes I'm like, man, the late great John Madden had it figured out, man. He
go
ride
by
the bus everywhere. I wish I could, man. There's not enough time in the day to do all that, but wow. Oof.
Let's say let's say that he doesn't play on Sunday, and there have been people like Diana Rossini and some others who report on the Titans who seem to get some information. This is Diana Rossini talking about that very thing. So here you go. This is what she said about the potential for him playing.
Yeah, so I knew that Derrick and the rest of the team really had this game earmarked. This was going to be the game they wanted him to return full and go.
Yeah.
And he'd been working towards that. And from everything I can gather in terms of his recovery, the rehab, it was going really well. It went smoothly as it could. And in terms of his overall progress, he's right on target. They feel good about it. I know that there was a lot of thought that because he's Derrick Henry, and we know what an incredible athlete he is and how hard he works, that maybe he would be able to speed that up and get back a little earlier. But anytime I spoke with people close to Derrick, when I spoke to people with the Titans organization, just to try to get that sense, it was always a little bit slow down a bit. You know, they really wanted to give him time. So it really makes sense to me that he's most likely not going to play against this Houston Texans team. As important of a game as this is, you know, trying to get home field advantage, trying to get that first round bye. But, you know, from what I can gather, it seems that they look at it as if they can take care of the ball, and the run game's been really good and it's held up really well without Derrick. If they can just get this win and give Derrick even more time to rest up to get ready for the playoffs, and it's the best decision that they can make.
And that was Diana Rossini from ESPN with our own Buck Reising. So, Blaine, it's kind of seemed like that all along. But there had been some reports even by like Ian Rappaport, like let's say the Titans get to this point and it's a must-needed game to get into the playoffs, which it's not anymore, but it is a must-needed game to get a bye in the playoffs. Number one seed in the whole playoffs. It's just fascinating to me to think about the conversations that would be going on in that building if Derrick Henry says, it feels like it's supposed to feel. It feels great. And the doctors go, here's the MRI. There's nothing. Here's the x-ray. It's healed. Just to think, okay, do we put him out there and play him however much they decide? Or is his literally first time to play would be the first time they handed him the ball in week 2 of the playoffs? Mm-hmm. It's just interesting to me, to those conversations. And ultimately, well, I brought things up before and go, well, I know they don't want this guy to get hurt. And you've always said, no, if the guy says, if you play, you play. If you can play, you can play.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Now, ultimately, and we can talk about this back and forth. Oh, Henry has input, the coaching staff, the trainers. Eventually, it comes back to the head coach. And if everything's a go, he could still say no. Absolutely, he can. Yeah, nah, I think in his mind, he's thinking, we can beat the Texans. As long as we don't turn the ball over, we can beat the Texans without you, and we can go another week or so and then rev you up, and you'll be ready. You know, would you love to get him some reps? I would. I would like to see him out there. But if it's 50-50, then don't take the chance and just got to rev him up and get him ready to go for the playoff game. That's just it. Just imagine if that was the timeline, and you didn't have this opportunity to put him out there in this game. So, you know, ultimately you're going to force the issue and do it anyway. Those conversations all play together, but ultimately the head coach can say, well, I'm glad all you guys say you feel great, but we're going to go in a different direction this game. But be ready. We'll make sure you're ready for our first game in the playoffs.
Is there any level of concern with you? Because he got hurt on Halloween, the 31st of October. So the final week of games would be this week, the 9th, the first week of the playoff. The Sunday would be the 16th. So it'd be the 23rd. It would be almost 3 months till the 23rd of January from the 31st of October since he'd last played. Is there any kind of level of concern for you that he would lay off that long and then step into the playoffs? Because you've described like, okay, there's preseason speed, then the speed immediately goes up for the regular season, then the speed goes up again immediately for the playoffs.
Well, I think there's concern in that he won't be up to eliteness immediately.
Right.
And a guy with his kind of ability and being a special player that he is, you hope that happens pretty quickly, like within 5 carries.
Yeah.
So ultimately, when you get out there, there's concern, but you have no other options at this point in time. So you got to put your best player out there. He's healthy. He's ready to go. And if he doesn't look sharp, you just got to hope that he rides it out. That's the part that then you're sacrificing the team for him to kind of look sharp. and then you don't know that he will be. People can all say, "Oh, well, he has no preseason." Well, that's a regular season game. Yeah. That is not like playing in the playoffs. Sorry, Charlie, it's not. They could say that all they want to. That's not the same. That thing is on warp speed, and I'm talking about. Just imagine you're running fast. All right. Well, when you get into the playoffs, you're running faster than the regular season. No different than the preseason. So. But what you do have confidence in is that he played in these games before. So he knows what it's like. So that gives you a little bit of confidence from a coaching point of view. And you have no other options to play your best player. And so you're concerned, but you hope he gets past it sooner than later as a running back. I would be really concerned if it was like the quarterback, because he hadn't played for a while. And I'm going to use McNair as the example of the year we won Super Bowl. He was not sharp that first game versus the Rams in the regular season, the first half, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was completing balls here or there, but he wasn't sharp. You can't duplicate game. You can't. So you got to play in the actual game. So I think running back is a position that you can pretty much get on par pretty quickly. Now, the other things you would be concerned with is pass protection. Yeah. You haven't seen live, pass protection in a real live game going like that, and not no regular season. So all the things that would concern you is that he's sharp mentally. You can do it all you want to practice, but things are happening at a much greater speed. So can he be sharp there too as well, picking up blitz schemes and everything else? So you hope you can go on everything, but in practice, you're not going to be able to hit everything.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So those are the only things. You don't want him. He missed a blocking scheme, and, he went the wrong way, then Tannehill got hit and blasted.
Yeah.
He looked great running,
right.
But, he missed the back, So, do they try to avoid some of those things by taking him out maybe even on those situations? But if it was me, I want him out there all the time.
And if, let's say he doesn't play Sunday, but then he does play in the playoff game, do they tell him no limits? If we need you to carry it 40 times, you're going to carry it 40 times.
Well, I think that's where then, the king has input. How do you feel? Mm-hmm. You play it by ear. You go in with one plan and say, yeah, he says he's ready to, and then you play it by ear and see if he is actually ready to take those blows and carry the ball 20, 25 times. And then if not, then that's when you dress Foreman. Then where is Foreman on the depth chart as far as the special teams? Is he on any of them? And then where is Hilliard? I mean, and then where does McNichols fit in this whole equation? Because I think you would have to dress all of them because you don't know actually if he can go in a game and finish.
Yep.
So then now they're going to have to play special team. And I think Hilliard and McNichols are a special teams guy, but Foreman, just the way he's built and the way he play, I don't know if he could be a really good special teamer. And that sounds weird because he should be able to run down on kickoff or something. And I'm sure he's able to, but is he good at that?
Right.
Yeah, and has he done it? Is he familiar with it? Is he running down on special teams right now? No. No. Has he run out on special teams since he's been here? No. See, so until you see it, do you know an actual, no different than we're saying, okay, until Tannehill can take him to a Super Bowl and win it, do you say he can take him to a Super Bowl and win it? It's got to get done.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to the phones. Lines are ringing. Lines are open. Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, 615-737-1045. We asked Buck Reising this question earlier. It's a question on the Blaine and Mickey Twitter. It's one that our director of content and director of polls,
Lucas,
came up with earlier this week, Blaine Bishop. Who's the Titans' biggest in-season acquisition? We listed 4: Randy Bullock, Deontay Foreman, Buster Screen, Zach Cunningham. We got other answers, too. Curious to get your thoughts on this. Best in-season acquisition. We'll discuss that and more next, and your calls. It's Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone.
Yo.
Tannehill gives Henry on the right side. There he goes. 25-30, 35-40, that's 50, it. 40, that's 30, it. 20, 10, 5, end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, 76 yards. Derrick Henry, touchdown, Titans. That's getting something going.
The zone, Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline ringing. So no real update today from Mike Vrabel on Derrick Henry other than just
he looked good.
No, he looked good. No setbacks, which I think that's good. If he come on and goes, well, actually, we had a setback today. That's bad. But no news, I think, is good news when
you
it comes.
You think he would have told us the bad news?
No, he would not have.
Oh.
They don't have to say anything since he's not technically on the team. He's not listed on the injury report one way or the other since he's in the Can you make the noise when you're in the 21? Ta-da. It's called ta-da.
Oh, ta-da.
When you're in the ta-da, the 21-day window to return, then they don't have to tell you nothing about him. So that was a big deal. I think that he offered. He looked good.
He looked good. Thanks, Mike, for telling us that.
Yeah, that's a big day for Mike. Let's take some of these phone calls. Again, appreciate everybody listening no matter where you are. Remember, if you missed the show or you missed some of the show or it was so good, you want to listen again, check out the podcast. We're any place you find your podcast, we are there. Yes, thank you, Lucas. That's what sound it makes in your heart when you listen to our podcast. Kev in Spring Hill will lead us off in this segment. Kev, how in the world are you? You been sledding today?
No, scraping the driveway.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, well, we may need you for all of us then if you're a driveway
scraper.
scraper.
Melt down here, but not much.
All right.
Hey, man, what Blaine was saying earlier, man, this is playoff football. This is first round bye on the line. So either he plays or he doesn't, I understand if he's not ready, that's great. But otherwise, I heard Blaine say the other day too, he's only 700 yards away from making 1,000 yards on the season. So,
67.
He's ready. He's ready.
Yeah. Well,
that was me being the fan there. I selfishly, I want him to get 1,000.
Is he got 937? Is that so? 63. Please don't make me do math live. Is that right? 63. 63 from 1,000.
I don't think any of us are in a good position to do this.
Three of us together, we can't hack our way through this. JC in Franklin will be up next on Blaine and Mickey. JC, thank you for calling the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline.
Well, I'm glad we're not doing math because I'm going to hang the phone up right now.
No, JC, we were counting on you to math our way through this.
No, y'all better get a CPA just for that. Look, hey, this is to Blaine's point earlier that you said is if Derrick Henry, a competitor, he's going to say, hey, once he's dressed and ready to go and having been the starter, he's going to be like, give me the ball. Mm-hmm. And if that comes in the divisional round of the playoffs because we get the first round bye, I need, as the coach, to see him now. And that's why I think Vrabel, I believe, would say, hey, I'm going to get you somewhere south of 10 carries just to get your feet wet because when playoffs come, and if you're ready to go, I'm going to assume you're ready to go. Mm-hmm. And if I got to give you the ball 40 times, are you ready to take the ball 40 times? You're going to tell me you are, but are you really ready? So there's that part. But I got to get back to something that was just said a moment ago. When do you have to designate? I know he's on the designated to return list. When do you have to designate him on the 46, 47, whatever it is? When do you have to tell the NFL, like, hey, this guy's going to dress versus being on the designated to return list? I'll hang up and listen. Blaine, you get your driveway scraped off?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, I'll just make sure.
Yeah, I'm an Indiana guy. So
he did it with a spoon, JC, just to make it difficult.
I went out there and did my car. My son's car.
He did it with a wooden spoon, JC, just to make it difficult. That's the way you did it. If I'm not mistaken, I think that transaction has to happen on Saturday right? By, I don't know, 1 or 3 or whatever it is to put you on the 53. And right now, I counted this morning. They have 53 people on the roster because they signed the Izzo kid, the tight end. So they have 53. So somebody would have to get cut. If you activated him, there's no exception. So they have to cut somebody. He would have to be added. I think that has to happen by Saturday. Somebody's listening who will know. I believe it's by Saturday. And then you mentioned the 46 or 48, I guess is what it is, on game day. You don't have to do that until that happens halfway through our show. So if it's a noon game, that has to be done. We'll know by 10:30. So we always get that halfway through the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff program. But I think tomorrow, Saturday, is when you got to make the decision, like, yes, coming off the return to play protocol, or no, he'll stay on it for however much more time. We got Martha checking in next. Hello, Martha. Thank you for calling.
Hey, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on. I'm on. My name's Martha Milwee. I wanted to put in my 2 cents on Derrick Henry because my mom and I are his biggest fan. And when I saw him in practice yesterday, I saw all of the explosiveness that he's had for the last 2 seasons. And that gives me encouragement to then say that, well, another thing is my name is Martha Milwee, which people LOL because they say Martha Milwee rhymes with Derrick Henry. And I don't know.
Well, Martha, we appreciate the phone call. I think a lot of people liked what they saw in the video of Derrick Henry. Not just Martha Minry. I think a lot of people liked what they saw from Derrick Henry, that rascal out there running in practice.
Can you say that 10 times?
Yeah, no, never again. You know I like to combine words and make things rhyme, though. You know it.
I thought you would mess that up because I thought you would combine
No way. I have done that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he pretty solid. I mean, naturally, he hadn't played in the game in a while, so I think they're gonna err on the side of caution. But he looked too.
Sad thing is, when they go in the bubble, it's limited video, so we don't get to really see anything. The snow robbed us of 2 days of Derrick Henry, individual period practice video. Because I'd have been real curious if you'd watched Wednesday and Thursday, and then some more drop today, and you'd go, okay. Let me just see what this looks like compared to yesterday, compared to the day before. But all we got is Wednesday. Wednesday was glorious, though.
Yeah, I think that's worse than getting stranded on the road for 14 hours. Not get to see Derrick Henry practice today, and just in individuals.
I bet somebody who'd been sitting in the car needing to poop for 14 hours would be like, "Hitman, you are wrong about that."
I hope you don't sit in the car and have to go poop. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, you better get out on the side and get some leaves.
I'm just saying, man.
Desperate times, desperate measures, Mikey.
I don't know if I would be that, because the leaves would be frozen. You going to take a frozen leaf and go after what's left of whatever you just did? That's Scotty.
Oh, no, man. All those extra clothes I got in my car, something's going down.
Oh, that's right. Old shirt.
Yeah,
strips.
something's going down.
Scotty in Castellian Springs. You ever been stranded on the road, Scotty? No? He's speechless. Scotty, do you want to talk about Derrick Henry? Anything? What you got?
Scotty, man. You got to tell your boss that you're now on 104.5 The Zone.
Oh, he got
Mickey
busted,
show.
you think? Scotty going once, twice. Lucas says, Lucas just like, hang up.
No.
Are you afraid he would yell an expletive or something? Lucas?
No, his leash is pulled.
Okay.
His leash is pulled.
Scotty,
he has a time limit on how many times we could say, are you on there?
Right. Whatever it was like he started waving his arms after 2, so he didn't even give Scotty a third strike. So this is a question we posed before we took the break. William has answered in the Zone TV chat. Who's the Titans' biggest in-season acquisition for this year? Blaine, one of the things that you've talked about a lot is just like this team got pantsed by COVID and injuries, and you've talked a lot about, hey, man, J-Rob's signing people off couches, and they are starting. They are literally
and Vrabel's getting them ready.
And Vrabel and the coaching staff are getting them ready. J-Rob is delivering a guy off the couch, and they are Buster Screen. I mean, just one guy after another who come out and played.
Foreman and big, we can't call him Big Randy. Just
Randy.
Yeah.
So
Randy
we asked
Savage.
We asked him. He's been a pretty macho kicker. Buck Reising was on with us earlier, and he said this. He said, "Think about it. We don't talk about kicking anymore. You can't give a kicker, a holder. You can't give them any more praise, a deep snap, long snapper, than we didn't talk about you. That means they only did their job."
Very valuable position. People, poo-poo them all the time just because they don't think about them until they mess up.
Yeah.
But those positions are super skilled positions. Man. So all you kids out there, man, you don't want all the physicality and everything. Learn to punt, learn the long snap, and learn how to hold.
Learn to
do those
punt.
things, man. You can be vibrant. You got to be able to do something else just in case of emergency, like a third string linebacker, tight end type guy, or maybe
I remember Kenny Amato would go out and play linebacker.
Backup, maybe utility guy that could punt, quarterback, and play tight end, holder. Guys, hey, man.
More you can do.
Yeah, the more you can do, man.
Yeah, my son's probably not going to be big. We work on punting a lot.
Yeah.
Watch Brett Kern videos on YouTube.
Ooh, the Brett Kern.
Who's the Titans' biggest in-season acquisition for the year? We put a poll up on Blaine and Mickey, Randy Bullock, Deontay Foreman, Buster Screen, Zach Cunningham. There was one real interesting response to this. Joel on Twitter said, to get to this point, it's Randy Bullock. For the future, he said Zach Cunningham. Because that dude's still under contract for years.
Yeah, that's a steal. They got a steal right now for him.
Williams said Zach Cunningham. No. Deontay Foreman. Seth in Zone TV chat said Foreman is the best in-season signing. Curious to get your and Lucas's thoughts of those four. I told you I had a stat that would blow your mind about Deontay Foreman. I didn't say that to the people listening, but to you I did.
Yeah, well, tell me because before I give my answer.
Before you don't pick him.
Yeah.
All right, Deontay Foreman has 497 rushing yards in 8 games. So if you double that, that's easy. I can do that. 994 rushing yards. That would make him 6th in the NFL. Deontay Foreman would be 6th in the NFL, and that projects to 1,056 yards. He would be a 1,000-yard rusher, getting his current number of carries. Think about it. There were some games he didn't really get a lot of carries because it's a rotation. It's AP was here, remember, for a minute. Think about it. Dontrell Hilliard, he gets some carries. Yeah. Sometimes they use McNichols, sometimes not so much. But he's really split carries. So in a very limited role, he would be on pace in the full season to get 1,000 yards, and his current total would place him 6th in the NFL. Deontay Foreman, who was home on the couch when they signed him halfway through the season.
And that was the first name I said as soon as
as soon as we found out about the King.
I was like, well, he was here last year. He did a good job.
Yep.
I couldn't believe he was available.
That dude was available and is carrying the load right now.
Yeah. With that all being said, though, Randy Bullock's my guy. As you know, I like Foreman, but
I know
Bullock, man, he's deciding games. You can say Foreman is, but I mean,
San Francisco game.
Your offensive
Bullock
line
won it on the last second. Yeah, just won one.
Oh man, it's close. I love me some screen. So yeah, I appreciate all those guys and what they're doing, but kicking that's a tough one there, man. Because we went through about there. I think he missed an extra point and a field goal, or was it?
I think he had one game where he missed. I think he had one game where he missed 3 kicks. Remember, he doinked him. He kept hitting the goalpost. It was really loud on the radio broadcast.
And we lost that game.
Yeah, I think he missed 3 kicks in one game. But other than that, he's been pretty sharp.
Was it the Jets game? No,
it was.
Remember. I thought it was a home game. But yeah,
Lucas, we store our memories with Lucas. What was his 3 missed game? Do you remember? Was it the Patriots? It's a Patriots game.
That sounds right.
He missed the extra. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been the Patriots because nothing went right in that game.
Well, no, it wasn't because there was that one weekend where it was something in the water.
Everybody missed everything. Yeah,
there were like 13 missed PATs, and Bullock missed one too. That's when they were in Jacksonville, but he didn't miss a bunch of field goals in that game.
Oh. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Bullock. It pains me, but man, I love to go with Screen. Foreman's been formidable. Wow. I mean, he's definitely a poor man's. He just doesn't have the breakaway speed of the King, who nobody really has at that size for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna go with old Randy.
Randy missed 2 kicks. He missed his only field goal, and he made 1 or 2 extra points against New England. So that was the New England game where I think he may have doinked both of them. Lucas, what do you say? I know you're fielding phone calls as well.
Who's your pick?
Out of those 4, who would you pick? I'm gonna go with Foreman.
Okay.
I think as far as the impact it's had so far this year, I think it has to be Bullock because you have tangible points, right, to point to. And like Buck said, we're just not talking about the kicker anymore, which is just in and of itself a great thing for a franchise.
They had 2 years where they made less than 50% of their kicks.
Right.
Not 1, 2.
Yeah, and that 2019 run he's talking about, Greg Joseph is the kicker, right? When they get to the AFC Championship. Well, he only had to attempt 1 kick, and he made it in Kansas City. But the Titans were so good in the red zone, they never had to kick field goals. Right. But that's not quite the case this time around. So Bullock has had a massive impact. But like the guy said on Twitter, moving forward, the future, Zach Cunningham, the value they got him at, I think that's the best acquisition as far as the type of player he is and the manner in which they got him basically falling into their lap.
You know what's funny is all four of those guys on the couch. Blaine, would you be surprised at all if Randy Bullock got a contract and was the kicker going into camp, like the incumbent kicker? I wouldn't be surprised. Or if Deontay Foreman got a contract and, hey, man, why don't you stick around, back up Derrick Henry? Buster Skrine, as versatile as that dude is, are you going to let him? They've talked a million times. Mike Vrabel speaks about him like a son, about how professional he is and all those things. You going to let that guy just walk out? And then Zach Cunningham's under contract. He ain't going anywhere unless you're just wanting him to go somewhere. But why would you want him to go anywhere? I try to keep all four of those cats.
Well, I think they try to keep them all, but naturally, I mean, he talked to John Smith like it was his son. He's no longer around.
That's true.
Yeah, so you just
Bill Belichick's son now.
Yeah, so you want to keep guys like that, but you don't know. You gave him opportunity. Now other teams are going to look at him and say, "Hey, man, we'll give you a little bit more over here, and maybe a little more security with a longer term contract. 3-year modest contract for whatever position you play, and a role position, role player type money. So just never know. It's a business.
It is a business. No matter how much you like guys, it remains a business. Scotty from Castellian Springs has tried to call us again. Let's see if we can get him this time. Scotty, are you there?
Beam it up, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Oh, man, you had to pull on the side of the road, man.
What's going on?
You got stuck.
Last time I talked with you, Blaine, you was licking your fingers eating Sudden Serve's chicken.
I wish we had some of those right now.
Chicken,
That's
man.
good stuff, dude.
I do.
No, y'all took all my thunder. I think he's going to be worth some money after this game season, and I think Henry needs to get into play, just get his timing with his offensive line. Not a whole lot of plays, just enough. Because Foreman right now, they're clicking good.
Yeah.
And I just think Henry needs to get in there just a little bit because, when the last time we played the Chiefs in the playoffs, when they shut the running game down, we lost. So we need all we can get if everybody shuts down what we got. So
That's well said. We need all we can get at somebody.
And that's
yes,
where
sir.
then Julio. Yeah, that was what. Exactly.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, we could talk about all that's happened so far, but man, that's the time because AJ can't do it by himself in the playoffs. Sorry, if he gets 16 targets in one game in a playoff game, man, I'll be stunned. I was like, what? They didn't double him and make Julio beat you? And I'm putting my money on Julio. I think he's going to say, you have no choice but to throw it to me now. I'm going to get more than one target. And when I get it, you about to see why they call me Julio. I still think he got some juice.
Boy, but we about to see what kind of juice they can squeeze out of that orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't even know if he's practicing or not, but I don't care. We got 2 more weeks. So I'm assuming we're going to win. We better win.
They better win.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to be easy.
Oh, I know.
If they don't turn the ball over, I think this is a win.
Yeah. Well, they turned it over 5 times last time.
Yeah. So that and they still almost got him.
Yeah.
So you just do that. I think they're gonna win this thing.
We got to call our shot. We'll do that next. Also, we'll try to squeeze in these last couple of phone calls on Ye Old Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. So stick and stay if you are there. It's Blaine and Mickey 1045 The Zone. But first, Lucas says giveaway. It's more Preds tickets. Is that what we're doing, Lucas? He was yelling giveaway in my ear. All right, free ticket Friday with 1045 The Zone and the Nashville Predators. It's still free. Blaine is in a generous mood. We're giving away more tickets. Be caller number 5 now. 615-737-1045. You win tickets to Tuesday. This snow will be melted by then. Tuesday night's game, Preds versus Avalanche at Smashville. The puck drops at 7 p.m. Central Time. Get your tickets now at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. We'll call our shot in just a second, but we got time to take this call from Howard in Franklin. Let's talk to Howard, then we'll call our shot. Howard, thank you for checking in.
Quick question. It's been 7-8 weeks that he hasn't been playing. How extensive are have his workouts been, and how much strength does this guy lose after 8 weeks?
Thank you for the call, Howard.
All I heard was the last part of my headphones.
He asked, what kind of workouts, how strenuous have his workouts been?
Yeah, how much strength did he lose?
Yeah, and how much strength did he lose?
It's all an estimate. You really don't know. Man, it's tough because he definitely probably wasn't lifting like he was lifting in the off season when we see the videos. That's for sure. You don't want to put all that weight on your foot and your body, not knowing where you're at. But I'm sure he got back probably right when he started really running. There's other things you can do to maintain strength. So let's start with that. But it's actually not the same. But it can maintain. He's a pretty freakish type athlete guy. So I don't think his strength is going to be really an issue.
By the way, we were talking some about...
He can only do so much, too, by the way. We get caught up in all this lifting weights and everything else. I squatted 555 15 times, bench press 400, so many times. At some point you go, I got grown man strength. It doesn't matter. It's relative to the actual task. You don't have to be super strong. You have to have game strength.
Mm-hmm.
And so doesn't always relate to actual strength. And the reason why I can say that is I've seen guys do 225 one time and go knock somebody's head off.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh, well, that's different. I learned that my rookie year. Guy named Chuck Cecil, I think y'all know him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What he weigh? About $190?
Yeah.
Soaking wet?
Yeah. And he looked like a string bang. You're like, dang. I mean, I'm thinking about the guy on the cover from Green Bay. I'm thinking he was huge.
Tony Mandarich.
Not here, but
incredible bulk.
Yeah, Chuck Cecil was with Arizona and Green Bay, and then at the end with the Oilers halfway through the season, and I was like, wow, this guy, and he followed that up after going out there and hitting people. He was doing the exact same thing that he had done in the past. Yeah, so and he wasn't benching very much at all.
He wasn't there to lift weights. He was there to hit people in the face.
So it becomes a mentality. I mean, that power can help you. But once you become powerful, I don't think you kind of just lose it because you're not doing as much. Maybe you find in other manners. Maybe you made your ankle stronger. Maybe you made your foot stronger based off the rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you made single leg knee stronger. So you get strength in all kind of forms. So I don't think that's going to be an issue at all.
All right, on the way out, we got a minute and a half or so left, maybe 2 minutes. If you're connected to Twitter, please help free my account. I have been locked out because I've been hacked. So that's not calling my shot. I would just, ask for your help if you're involved with Twitter. I don't know if any of you are. If you're not, that's okay too. But time to call our shot, brought to you by Chattanooga Whiskey, available at your favorite Nashville retail store. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Maybe you'll drink some tonight while you watch the snow melt. Mm-hmm. Let's go, gentlemen. Shots called
what you got there, Lucas?
For this week. I guess that could even include the national championship. We won't call shots again before then.
If it includes the national championship, I'm going to pivot and say Bama wins.
Pivot. Oh,
Bama
right,
wins.
Ross.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you pivoted.
I was going to go Chiefs cover over the Broncos and end up and go into the postseason as the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl, but I'm going to pivot my shot to Bama wins on Monday.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you did that because I wanted to go national championship because that's what I was going to do anyway. And I'm pivoting to Georgia. How about them Bulldogs in somewhat of a blowout? Mm-hmm. Yes. That means
what?
14 or more in my mind.
What?
Yes. That's what I'm going with. And it's going to kill me because I really don't want to go get Saban.
Oh, we had our guy Brandon Marcello on for 24/7. He feels good about Georgia.
Well, I mean, they're the most talented team, but we all know, and I say it all the time, most talented team doesn't always win because that's why it's a team.
Titans are favored by 10 against the Texans. I think they covered the 10.
Ooh.
They turned it over the 5 times the last time they saw these jokers and didn't get one back. They're going to cover that 10. No doubt.
Way to go out on a limb, Mickey.
covering 10 in an NFL game. That's a big deal.
I know. It's a big deal.
All
It
right.
is. That's a huge number, by the way, going in.
I'm going to go sweep snow off my car. 3HL coming up next.
I'm going to go check my tires because I think they're flat after I'm going to get Saban.
All right. Hey, man, drive home safe, everybody, tonight. Enjoy the snow. And as always, in the meantime, in between time,
peace.